FooRay, I'm about to host. If I may, I'm thinking that you chose the best thing. If you like them good shows and all of these movies. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat.
What up, Chipper Chaps? This is Chipper Chap Chat, episode 45.
Bow.
Episode 45. Today, we're going to review Turtles 2, Out of the Shadows.
Who are we again?
I am Jeffrey. You are...
Chamba.
No. I'm Chamba. I already said I'm Jeffrey. Chamba Jeffrey. It doesn't matter.
And I am FooRay.
Yes.
Or Royce, I guess, for this episode.
For this episode, I am Jeffrey.
And yeah, so are we gonna do breakdown, like a non-spoilery version first, or what do you want to do?
I think we'll start it off just non-spoiler our thoughts. It's going to be just by no spoiler. Essentially, I'm just going to tell you what I thought of the film without spoiling anything, and that way, the rest of the episode is just spoiler. Right. It's easier. I can't talk about a film and not talk about the film. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know how others can do it. I'm like, you guys are better, clearly.
Probably. But yeah, okay. Let's get into it then.
Yeah.
What were you expecting out of this film before seeing it?
Okay. I was expecting more turtles.
Okay.
I was hoping for my enjoyment of it to be more so than the first one. I enjoyed the first one. I had a lot of issues with the first one. I was just hoping I would enjoy this one more. That we would get more turtles. Primarily, we would get less humans. Either less humans or the humans are there, just not as annoying.
Right. That's fine.
That's really it. And yeah, that's what I was hoping for it. How about you? What were you hoping?
I was early on when I first was seeing anything from it, because I think we got like a teaser pretty early on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell immediately that it was brighter.
Yeah, vibrant.
So I was hoping that they would kind of double down on we're making a live action version of the cartoon, which is what we thought they were doing in the first place when the old trailers were out for the first movie.
Right.
And to some degree they had some of that stuff, like the turtle van and shit like that.
They did. But it was very, very minor in the first one. And
I rewatched it, and a lot of it is in black, stark shadows.
That's what
everything.
I thought too. Yeah, because did you watch it again before watching the second one? Yeah, I did too. Did you come out with anything new from the first one after rewatching it?
I really didn't like how Splinter looked. Like, it was upsetting to me.
Okay.
The fact that so much of him didn't have hair, it was like
he was a naked rat,
naked skin. Yeah, it's so
he was a naked rat,
so gross and weird.
He was a naked rat with a goatee, some ponytail thing going.
Yeah, it just made him harder to look at, and I didn't feel endeared to him like I want to with Splinter. You know, Splinter was like the best dad ever.
That's what I'm saying, which is weird.
Like, he totally taught you what was right and what was wrong, and he taught you how to be a motherfucking ninja.
But
for when shit got real.
Exactly, and it's values as well.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm going to teach you how to defend yourself, but I'm going to teach you that this isn't all that you need. You need more than this to become a good being, a good person in a sense, or a good. Yeah. He was excellent. He was a guide. He guided you.
He was legit.
Yeah.
He was legit.
I don't think the first. I don't think he was lacking that in the first film. I just thought visually he wasn't.
But I couldn't feel that way for
because
him,
of the way he looked.
He was so gross looking. And he had elements of it. He was definitely like, your first impression of him is that he is weirdly harsh.
Mm-hmm.
Because, he's like beating the shit out of them for skipping curfew or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and that was kind of weird. But I think then you get the scene where he's teasing them with pizza or whatever, and then you go, okay, it's kind of the Splinter I know.
Yeah.
But I think the first movie, it was very Amazing Spider-Man, the first one.
Okay.
Like, very much so.
Yeah, it
like,
was.
Lot of black and shadows and stuff.
Like heavy contrast, hard contrast, but heavy shadow. Yeah.
A lot of, like, unneeded origin story stuff where you try to connect everything together.
Mm-hmm.
Even the like last scene is very similar with like the big kind of tower thing on top of this. It's very and it's just it felt very like derivative of that movie to me. Like they were like that was a cool idea for how to update that character.
Yeah.
For the Ninja Turtles, let's give them their Batman Begins or whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't think that it was successful in that, because the tone kept switching. You can't do like, let's make it this, the Turtles Batman Begins, and also Michelangelo farts on them when they get
right
into the sewer.
Right. It was like too many. They tried to do too many things in that first one. I felt.
Right.
It didn't really have a. So, what were you hoping for the second one?
So, this one, I was hoping that they would kind of embrace the let's make a wild cartoon thing and skip out on all the unnecessary trying to make it dark stuff. So I was hoping for.
Okay.
I was hoping they were going to make the turtles a whole lot smaller and have them actually fight.
Yeah. Okay.
They did make them slightly smaller. They've got to be at least 5-6 inches smaller.
They did, and it wasn't jarring.
Right, and I even saw actually behind the scenes photos.
Okay.
And of the turtle actors in the suits or whatever.
They showed in the eyes.
Yeah, in the first movie they had like antennas with eyes on.
Exactly. Now it's like above their heads, right?
It's just on their heads.
Yeah,
they look like they have a sock with the eyes on top of their head, like Kermit or something.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so they definitely made them smaller. But I was really hoping for the action that they promised in the first movie, saying that it was going to be like the Raid or whatever.
Okay. So you were hoping for those things.
Was hoping for those
things. Having said that, without spoiling anything in this first section, did you enjoy the film?
Parts of it.
Okay. Did you enjoy it more than the first one?
The parts that I enjoyed as much as the first one.
Okay.
With the exception of, I don't think that they gave the turtles a moment like they did in the first movie with the like elevator scene.
Yes.
I don't think that you got to see anything specifically like that of them just being like teenagers for a second.
Okay.
But not in the same way.
Right.
In a easily deliverable way.
Right.
Like that. So yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Okay. I enjoyed.
What did you get out of it?
I enjoyed it. I didn't get everything that I was like. It could still be so much better.
Right.
But I definitely left the cinema having enjoyed the film. I enjoyed it much more than the first one.
Right.
I had a good time with it, and I actually came out pretty damn happy. I have issues with it, which we will talk about.
Right.
But like, I'm not saying it's clearly not a perfect Turtles film.
Right.
Like,
I think if you are someone who's not seen the movie yet, and you're like, I'm not sure if you're gonna like it. If you go see it, just imagine that you are watching an episode of a Ninja Turtles cartoon show.
Yep, exactly.
But just that it has a live action movie filter on it.
Because that's what I kind of walked into it thinking.
Right. If you do that, I think that it will change
Yeah.
your perspective on what you're expecting
Absolutely.
and how you're going to react to what you get.
Absolutely.
Um,
Because, yeah, like if you, in a sense where if you know what you're walking into, you're not going to be in that sense disappointed, really.
if you don't know anything about Ninja Turtles going into this, though, you might be confused.
Oh yeah, yeah, without a doubt.
By the time that they first interact with one of the main villains,
Yes.
you're gonna be like, "Wow, that was a bit jarring."
There's a lot of things that will make you go, "What's going on?"
Right. Even as someone who knows
Yeah.
about it, I'm still like, "Wow, that was really bizarre how that transitioned."
Yeah.
But as someone who has no idea what the Ninja Turtles are about, and even if you've just seen the first reboot movie,
Right.
and nothing else,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, if you're a little kid,
yeah.
you would love this movie, though.
Yeah, I feel like kids are gonna like this
Like,
one a lot more.
I'm
than the
I'm
first
gonna definitely tell my nephew to watch this. My 5-year-old nephew. I'm gonna tell my brother to take his
Right.
son to, because he's gonna love this movie.
Yeah,
He's
I
gonna
can
love it.
imagine that.
He's gonna love it. And because I'm like thinking, oh man, if I was a kid watching this, I'm who I am now, and I'm actually enjoying this for what it is. It's far from what it could be. Oh,
It's not Civil War.
No, it's not Civil War. It's far from what
don't-
a solid
Yeah, you're not
turtle
gonna
story
like
could be,
if you're
though.
expecting that.
Yeah. It's far from what an actual amazing turtle story could be.
Right.
But for what this is, it's still a really good time.
Yeah, it's definitely a popcorn movie.
Yeah, it's a popcorn flick. So, like we were saying earlier, it's unrelated to turtles. Like Independence Day, the new one.
Yeah.
That's a popcorn flick.
I imagine it
Yeah.
will be, yeah.
It's dumb fun, but not dumb in a sense where I'm like, because I'm gonna bring up Transformers because it's another Bay thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just dumb.
Yeah.
Like I can see how some moments are fun, but as a whole, you're like, this is exhausting and it's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this Turtles, I liked it. I had fun. I had fun with it.
Yeah. I think there's definitely entertainment to be had
Absolutely.
if you want to go see some crazy action
Yeah,
stuff.
some fun stuff.
Some set pieces. If you imagine all the craziest stuff that happens in the Uncharted games and just put Ninja Turtle skin on Nathan Drake,
That's it.
that's basically
Yeah.
a lot of the movie.
Yeah. Would you recommend it?
So
though?
yeah. I'd recommend it for you're just gonna see it one time in the theater and go see something silly
Yep.
and kind of
Absolutely.
crazy
I think
with
that's
action.
the word. It's silly. It's a
Yeah.
silly type fun. If you like the classic Turtles cartoon, you're gonna like this. If you like
Yeah.
the current Turtles cartoon, you'll probably like this too.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the Turtles themselves in that new reboot, the most recent reboot, then you're gonna like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're after something deep, avoid it.
Yeah, it's not. It's
not
definitely
yeah.
not.
So if you're
It's
expecting
not.
something deep,
It's
yeah.
not even Turtles 1
No,
deep.
no, yeah, and that's the
in
thing.
my opinion.
Yeah. Turtles 1 is still
So-
Turtles 1 is not just a perfect Turtles movie. It's one of the best movies for me.
Yeah, if I could just have it with a filter of like
Modern technology filter.
new technology
Yeah.
version of what the Turtles could look like.
Although to be honest,
Even the new actual designs that are in this
Yeah.
thing, but just
Oh, yeah,
take all
yeah.
the extra shit off them.
take it off them.
Redo that movie.
Because the Turtles looked way better in this one, by the way.
They did look a lot better,
A
a
lot
lot brighter.
better. A lot, vibrant.
In the first movie, I think they tried to make it a bit more
Yeah,
realistic
because
for
it was
sure.
over textured.
Right, it was over textured.
A lot
Everything
more random
was like
shit.
shiny
Yeah,
and wet.
and dark.
Right.
And dark. So yeah, that's the non-spoilers.
Yeah.
So now we're just gonna talk about things from the film. So if you haven't seen the film, don't listen. Or I guess if you want to listen, just keep listening.
All right, but we're going to talk
We're going to
about
talk about details within
the
the film.
random
Yeah, yeah.
and specific.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But all, like, we'll talk about things we actually enjoyed in specifics, but also things that were like questionable and why did they go that way, or why didn't they do this and that type stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So, where to begin?
I know, that's the question. All right, did you like Bebop and Rocksteady?
I thought they were fine.
Yes, I had fun with them.
I thought that they were fine. I thought that their designs were fine. I feel like they look like live action versions
They
of
did.
the characters.
I had a lot
basically.
of fun with them.
They weren't as aggressive looking
No.
as I imagined them.
No.
But if you're trying to make a live action version of the
The kids,
80s
yes,
cartoon,
absolutely. This is
Then
such a
fully.
translation of the 80s cartoon. It's not like they're more of a translation of that than the Turtles themselves are.
right? Yeah, I was pretty happy with them for the most part.
I was too. I'm glad they were in. It took them long enough for us to finally see Bebop and Rocksteady, and the versions that we got made me
They're pretty good.
put a smile on my face when I saw them.
Yeah, they have only one thing about it that kind of bothered me, but I like it.
What was
I
it?
just didn't like the choice. I like that they did this thing where they made Bebop and Rocksteady consistently kind of bond in some way.
Yeah, my,
Like, Troy and Abed have the pat high five.
this one's
and
my
shit.
man.
Yeah, this is what they go, my man.
You know what?
is-
I didn't mind
which is
that.
fine.
I didn't mind it because I was like, cool. They are like they're really good friends.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But it was also kind it got grating just because of the choice of specifically that, I guess. If it was anything else, I don't know if it
What would you
bothered me as
prefer
much.
it be?
I don't know, just like a high five
Yeah.
or some specific handshake they have. Almost just specifically the phrase "my man" seems weird to me from these two.
Right, it was a bit
creatures.
odd. It was, but I understand why it had to be a phrase rather than like something that they visually would do, because that one last scene in the end, they had to say it so it shows that they didn't die. I guess.
Right, which is fine. I
Yeah.
just again, it was just the specific choice. I think that it was bizarre to me. Also, one of the first times I remember hearing them say it, other than when they're human,
Mm-hmm.
is when they first get transformed into these creatures,
Yeah.
and they look at their dicks,
Yeah, I know.
and then at each other.
I know. That was weird. I was
now
like,
we have giant mutant animal dicks.
yeah,
My man.
yeah, that's what I was like. That was weird because I'm like,
Yeah.
everything in this film, I gotta say, was very catered to the children for the most part.
Right.
For the most part,
Yeah.
I mean, there's that scene where April has to pretend she's one of those, I guess, teeny boppers or whatever, taking photos of
That scene
themselves.
felt so out of place,
Right,
dude.
right. In order to get the lock on with the file to get 100%.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, now I see why that scene took place. I still don't see what the point was, but all right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
It was just to get her in that outfit.
Absolutely, and I'm like, this is to cater to the dads that have to take their kids to
Right,
watch this film.
right.
Cool, good job. So
Yeah.
that wasn't overtly done. Like that wasn't like. But then when they looked in Bebop and Rocksteady looked in their pants, I'm like, who is that for?
I guess for the dads still. I don't know.
But like,
I don't know.
don't get me wrong. It's funny because to me it extends the characters. It gives us more character to them. It's a character we didn't really like. That doesn't really help them for me, anyways.
Right.
But I was like, whatever. It didn't take me out. I was just like, okay, that was slightly weird, but I'm still laughing with them because they're funny guys.
Right. I don't know. Again,
Yeah.
it didn't ruin the
It didn't
character or
ruin
anything
it.
for me.
I was just like, that was kind of not needed. Yeah, because they looked down and they're like, my man. I was like, all right,
Right.
cool. That means,
Just
it's,
because what does it
I don't
mean?
know.
Like, what does it mean?
I don't know.
Are they stoked that they have giant mutated animal
or that
dicks?
they still had their penises still.
Just that they're there at all?
Maybe. Because there were
it's
certain
still-
scenes where like when April was looking through the actual gate and stuff, and how you can hear him in the background on that scene when she's watching them transform. And then when you can hear him in the background, he's saying, "Hey, check it out! I can move my tail and stuff."
Okay.
And I was like, "All right, that's still character moments." But the fact that they showed him on screen looking in their pants, going, and then looking at each other, going, "My man," I'm like, that part, I don't, whatever.
They were confirming
That there was still
something about their new penises had them excited.
Yep.
And that was bizarre
Right.
to me. I just remember just at that moment being like, but why?
Yeah,
Why?
exactly. It was almost like, huh. Again, like I don't know who that was for.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. Super
like
weird choice.
Like, let's put a dick joke in here, but the weirdest possible dick joke.
Yeah, and then he like ripped a huge fart on him continuously.
Yeah, in the museum.
Right. I'm like, I don't know if we needed another fart joke. Like, if the first movie wasn't enough fart humor for a Ninja Turtles franchise, how many farts do you remember in the first, even the third Ninja Turtle movie? I don't think there's a single turtle fart.
Yeah, I don't recall. Like, that's what when you said fart joke, I'm like, was there any fart jokes in those original Turtle films?
No, I can't remember any. It just seems really dumb to me that's what. Just all kids love farts, man. That's what's up.
Do. It's fart jokes are funny amongst friends.
But not every franchise needs
I
a
know.
fart thing.
Like, I mean, it could be worse. It could be It could be Bumblebee pissing on you.
Or the one where they show his balls.
Oh yeah, the giant Destructicon nutsack.
Right.
Constructicon, yeah. Yeah, it could be that. Could be that.
Wow.
I don't know, because I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to at that point. Anyway, back to Turtles. Yeah, that scene was a little bit weird. I like the new Shredder. I don't know. They could have explained why he's young. I guess it's almost like, whatever.
Yeah, they didn't
I know.
even bother.
That's the
They
thing.
just didn't even bother. They're
Mind
like,
you-
fuck it.
Mind
fuck
you,
it.
for all
He
we
looks
know,
like Shredder.
I don't know what made it to the cutting floor, but that's not beside the point. The point is what we saw. What we
Yeah.
got in the end. But I'm like, no mention of like, he had the ooze in the end. They just say, that thing changed him.
Yeah, they could have come up with all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely. I do like don't get me wrong, I like the new Shredder. I think he was great. I wish there was more of him though.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm like, alright, again, spoilers, I don't want to have to keep repeating. He gets frozen,
Yeah.
and then what?
Yep. No
He
idea.
gets put in like a collection.
right.
other frozen
I was trying to
things?
see.
Yeah,
what
I was
else
looking
in
around
that
and I'm like,
collection.
I'm sure those are more things.
right.
You know, more characters that they can definitely delve into in future films. But does that mean Shredder's off in another dimension now?
Who knows, man?
Alright, but he was cool until, you know, he wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
The lack of fighting.
Yep.
That's weird
That
to
was
me. Like there was
pretty bothersome
there's
for me,
action.
actually.
There is action, and that's all right. Again, there's action. Cool. We see Leo fucking training. He did more
Yeah.
fighting in his training than he did anywhere else.
Yeah, there's like zero
I don't
fucking
know-
actual hand-to-hand
Yeah.
combat.
Like they fought Krang in the end, which was cool. That was cool. Krang is boss. He sued his boss as shit. Also, I don't really get why Krang likes to crawl out of his suit and just
Right.
stay out of the suit. I'm like, dude, that's armor. Stay in the armor. Ain't that the point
Yeah,
of
I
it?
don't know. What did you think of Krang's voice?
I know the actor. He's from Everybody Loves Raymond. He's the older brother. I forgot his name. But he's playing like a cartoony voice. I was fine with it. It's better than the original Krang voice.
I would have preferred
That
the
would have been
original
funny.
Krang
Though.
voice,
Yeah, that would have been
personally.
funny. It was weird because like it was definitely To me, that was definitely targeted to the children audience.
The Krang stuff?
Yeah, the Krang voice.
Yeah.
He was playing it like a cartoon character.
Yeah, definitely.
I was fine with that.
It almost sounded Mad Hattery.
Kind of. I can imagine it as a Mad Hatter. He was such a weird character.
Krang?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know.
Why?
Why? Yeah. Why? I still don't know why.
It almost kind of came out of nowhere.
Not almost. Completely out of nowhere.
Like they could have slowly, even in just this one film, they could have slowly built up what the whole portal thing was. But at the start, it was like, okay, Stockman, Baxter is working with Shredder. They just keep calling him Shredder.
Right.
No more Rokusaki, that no longer exists. It's just Shredder. That's fine.
No Eric
Eric
Sachs.
Sachs, whatever. Again, a young Shredder. Doesn't matter. He was old. That's beside the point. They got him in his suit in the end, and when they opened it up, he was a young guy. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But he's working for him. I was actually fine with Baxter Stockman.
Yeah, he didn't bother me. I thought his laugh was funny.
Was like, that's goofy as fuck.
Yeah.
He's a cartoon character. But he knew what he was doing.
Definitely.
Like, he played it real until he started laughing. And I'm like, I've never heard a single person laugh like that ever.
I was expecting some sort of tease about the fly version.
I was hoping for that. I do like that they explained the, like the whole rhinoceros.
I didn't.
He didn't like that. I was whatever.
I did not like that.
I was whatever with that. It didn't bother me. It didn't. I didn't end up going. That was cheap. In a sense, that was cheap. It's like, yeah, it kind of.
To me, it's dumb because
anybody can turn into anybody.
Explains a certain amount of the characters. What happens when they get the guy that turns into fucking garbage?
Yeah.
Oh, your inner DNA was connected to garbage.
Well, that's the thing, and because of that, I don't think they're gonna do the whole garbage guy.
They might not, but still, it's dumb to me to exclude so many of their characters.
Which is crazy, right? Because
just because they're not animals.
Because what's crazy is that the current cartoon does it correctly.
Right.
And I'm surprised. I'm like, dude, a cartoon that's directed towards children did a better job. Mind you, they have more time. They have more time to do it.
Yeah, they have a lot more time.
They've got a lot more time. And that's really the issues with these films.
And they have the benefit of their style.
That's true.
Is not all realistic.
Right. I get all that. Like, that part was just like, okay, it's for us to get Bebop and Rocksteady. It wasn't another Turk on Razor.
But they easily could have just mix up with these animals or whatever.
It's like, I've got these two, like, or when they showed him licking that fucking thing before he got shot, I'm like, yeah, that was a rhinoceros thing.
Right, obviously.
Obviously, because I'm like, why is he licking he's in a lab and he's just licking a test thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's clearly something that he shouldn't be doing.
Right.
I guess that's what it was like rhino something. It was rhino DNA that he was licking. Whatever, something. But the lack of actual fighting was bizarre to me.
Yeah, I was kind of.
It was like Turtles 2.
No, Turtles 2 had hella fighting.
It was like,
it just didn't.
That's
use
what
the
I was gonna say. It was like Turtles 2 with their lack of use of weapons. But this one, they just removed actual fighting for the most part.
Right.
They fought the Krang bot in the end because also the Foot Clan shithouse ninjas.
They are shithouse ninjas,
really
but that scene where they take over the police station
was awesome.
They made the Foot Clan look pretty cool.
They did.
But then the Turtles actually fighting the Foot Clan was...
They kick him twice.
Right, it was just kind of underwhelming because they can't have actual choreographed fights.
You can't, they're too large. The fight between...
They're too large and they're CG, so they just go, it's too hard to make a intricate fight.
Which sucks, because you can definitely make them fight Bebop and Rocksteady. The brawl that they were doing in the plane was fine. Very little of it. Which is
why I think that they need to make suits and then enhance them with CG, so you can have at least a practical suit on set for the fight parts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, it's something that they should obviously think about. Or, you know, if you didn't make the turtles giants...
Right. If you make them, just make them the size of the fucking
I don't
actors.
know what the problem is there. I don't know what the problem is there. It's easy for little dudes to fight a giant CG character than for a slew of, you know, ninjas, in quotes, fighting 4 giants.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the lack of, like, when they broke in that police station, they were legit, dude. The fucking backflip, like double backflips and shit. You saw some sweet kicks.
Right.
And then, as soon as they're about to get out, Turtles burst in the glass and just kick them.
They also made the Foot Clan seem kind of legit at the beginning when they're like freeing Shredder.
Right.
And they're like setting the bombs on shit. Cool.
That was all really cool.
They made them look pretty cool, but then I don't know. I guess that fight scene or that scene was they had the little section with Raph going off by himself, and that felt satisfying, but it was
not
like
enough.
We need way more of this.
Like the fact that the Turtles were in nearly every scene, I loved. I love that we got a lot of the Turtles. They looked really cool. They're very much more animated in this one though. And I'm okay with that. I'm better with that. They look better.
Yeah.
Leo's voice, that should have been his voice at the first movie.
You don't know why it wasn't.
That doesn't make sense. I'm like, that's Leo right there. Yeah. Why did you choose Johnny Knoxville in the first film?
Yeah, and some of the stuff, it sounded like he was maybe doing an impression of what Knoxville had done in the first movie.
But it still sounded better. It sounded natural.
And probably just for consistency's sake.
Right, exactly.
But it's still because he doesn't have Johnny Knoxville's like smoker, like 40-year-old smoker voice. It still sounded better. Everything he did sounded better.
Wow, we could have got that the first one. Cool.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of Splinter.
Not at all, dude.
He was barely there.
Which is confusing to me, too, because they established in the first one, Splinter is legit as balls. Yeah. Like, he fucked all the Ninja Turtles up. He was almost able to take on Shredder by himself.
If not for the giant mech suit.
All right. So I think that it's a little bizarre when they're like, well, the world's coming to an end. We got to fight this alien thing. You guys have fun.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm going to stay in here and just continue to meditate or whatever I do.
I've got 10 seconds left to meditate, and I'll reach enlightenment, but you ruined it by crashing in.
Yeah, that part was bizarre to me, but I don't know. I think they made Splinter look better. They gave him a lot more fur.
He looked a lot better here. I was like, all right.
He's definitely healthier than the first movie.
Like, full on. I was the first one he was sick. I did like the scene when Casey was inside the actual thing.
Yeah.
That part made me laugh.
It was funny. I'm not a fan of this new Casey Jones.
I want to like it, but
I do not like it.
I want to like it. I don't like. I rewatched the original Turtles, the best one, the best one, like last weekend, and I'm like, this movie, dude. That movie.
Yeah.
Everybody was on point in that movie, and you could say, "Oh, that's just nostalgia," and I'm like, "You say what you want, though. It's still a better."
Yeah.
It's still a better. Casey was awesome. Splinter was legit. The Turtles looked the best. April, I love that April. I heard that she is supposed to have a cameo. Yeah, that's what I was looking. I didn't see her
anywhere.
as well, dude. I didn't see her at all. Maybe it was a scene that was cut.
Did you notice any cameos?
No. Oh, apart from Kevin Eastman.
Yeah, the pizza guy or whatever.
Thanks, Kev.
Right?
Yeah, see you next week, Kev, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, I was expecting more. Didn't really notice any.
They played Vanilla Ice.
They did do that, and it seemed real forced. Yep. It wasn't even the fucking right song, but you're like, it shouldn't exist, I guess, if they don't know who the Ninja Turtles are, but it existed then, so he didn't know who the Ninja Turtles were before he started
like, why would he
singing.
rap about Ninja rap back then? I don't know.
I don't know. And it has lyrics where he says turtles.
Also, I don't know. Casey Jones, he's a police officer.
Policeman Casey Jones is so fucking wrong.
Weak. It's like, did you have to?
So not right. Dude.
Did you have to? I like that Vern was barely in this.
No, he was in it.
He was in it, but he was in it a lot
He was in it
less.
quite a
He was in
bit.
it a lot less, dude. Trust me, than the first one.
I don't think so,
Really, he was.
dude.
He
I
felt
really
like
don't.
he was way more in the first one.
I think it was just because there was no other humans in it,
Maybe.
really. But I get, he still got to. He was fighting foot soldiers
That's my
and shit.
thing. That's why I
and
was
they had
like,
all that fucking plot line with him being the one that killed Shredder or whatever. It's just.
dude. That's why I was like, as dope as they made the foot soldiers look in the police station, the fact that he knocked out a foot soldier by landing on him
Right.
was like, cool.
Pretty silly.
They're nothing. And then we always like me and my mate were noticing, it's like there's that Chinese lady, the Chinese police officer that was always next to Laura Linney's character, and like she didn't say a single word until the last scene where she was probably 80-yard. And I was telling my mate, I was like, the reason is because it's China funded, this film.
Right.
And what they do is they'll get like Chinese stars in here. Even if they don't know how to speak the language, they'll have them in here. They'll be predominantly in the camera. They did it with the last Transformers film. They'll
Right.
get the ones that can speak English to have speaking roles, but the ones that can't really speak English that well, they'll just have them standing in the background. They're recognizable, so they'll just be there.
Why not?
I'm like, my mate was like, I don't think she said a word yet. And then there's that last scene in the end, like when she started calling out like everybody do stuff. I was like, he was like, was that 80 odd? I'm like, I don't know, man. maybe that's all. Maybe that's all she memorized. Maybe that's all she could say, awesomely. Or maybe her scenes got cut. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, dude. He's like, she looked good, but that's all she did? And I was like, hey, man.
Oh, okay. Now I know who you're talking about. The whole time, though, that I was watching it, I was like, man, they should have had her play Karai.
That's what I was thinking. 'Cause she looked way
the chick
better.
They got
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, that's a weird Karai. Like it wasn't much. It's not an improvement from the first one.
I think it was definitely a negative from the first one.
Like the first one had
The first one was
an
way
odd
better.
shaped face.
She did, but it was a much better shape.
This one I was like, I don't know why.
It was the contents were better.
Yeah. But the shape was different. The shape was odd, but the contents were better. No, but like that was like the Chinese police officer. She looked wicked, but she didn't say shit, and probably that's why. Because Karai had the speaking lines here.
Yeah.
What else is there? I like the turtles. I like the turtles a lot. I like I like the scene, like the whole you were saying it lacked the elevator scene. We didn't get that kind of scene, but they did show their brotherly actions when they were watching the basketball game.
Yeah.
With the whole like Mikey was great. A lot like I'm watching it. As I'm watching it, you see the scenes of their reactions and stuff, of the characters' reactions. People were really positive towards the turtles. It seems they really like the turtles in this film, and I was like, good. If there's anything you take out of this film, is that you like the turtles.
Yeah.
I feel like, because if you don't like the turtles, what's the point?
It's true.
People like Bebop and Rocksteady. They were fun. They had a good time with them, and I think that's the thing. Most like when I was walking out, you hear a lot of people talk, and they were like, "This was really fun."
Yeah, it definitely was a fun movie.
Just the whole, they seem to have tied up the loose ends really easily, like really too easily.
Yeah, that was kind of bizarre to me. It was kind of bizarre to me just because it went so quickly, and like you don't even get to see Shredder.
I know, and he looked cool when he had the helmet finally on. When he finally had the full gear on, I was like, "Oh, there's Shredder." As he was about to strike, he's frozen in silver, and then taken into a collection. Krang's collection.
They kind of did the same thing to Baxter.
They did. It's like take him to our Tokyo facilities.
Yeah, take him to some place.
It's like no.
He's gone, and then
the big boss was Krang. Krang suit. The Krang suit, I was like, oh man, that's a cool suit.
Yeah,
Like when they started ripping the arms off, and then all these other ones started loading up. I'm like, that's pretty legit. He looked
yeah.
legit.
His,
I kind of wish that
he did
lasted
look
longer
cool.
though. It felt very short.
The actual
It
fight.
felt very short. I guess I understand why, because they had to like fight time. It seems like, they needed to stop the Technodrome from fully completing itself.
Right.
So I was like, all right. And that the whole thing looked pretty legit too.
All the action stuff
great. I liked it.
It was very
Yes.
big, but it was
Yes.
fun. It was like, I imagine the kind of stories and shit you would do if you were literally playing with Ninja Turtle action
Yes,
figures.
exactly. But we didn't get any of the fights,
No, none of the fight scenes. Just lots of
big
like
action scenes.
splashing around in a river and skydiving
Yes.
for some reason. All this shit that I've like, what episode? Like, what Ninja Turtles are these guys familiar with?
I don't know.
It's literally like they were just like, just do all the stuff that like the toys did.
They
you
did
know?
big action. They didn't do a lot of fight action.
No, almost none. I would say.
Which is, I don't know. Maybe this is like, if this is the direction that they're taking it. I don't know. Sometimes they feel, hey, we got budget. Let's do bigger things. And I'm like, what you could do with that budget is make awesome fights.
right.
You know? Think about how
Yeah.
awesome the fights are with that kind of budget. Instead of like, let's do a skydive fight or a skydive, or let's do a river fight. How about you do like a rooftop fight with 4 turtles versus a slew of foot soldiers? Because I would have taken that, I promise you.
Easily, and kind of the only fight scene you get is like Casey Jones versus the Foot
Right.
Clan, and I could take it
Yeah.
or leave that, I guess.
His mask still doesn't. His mask still doesn't make any sense to me.
Nope, none
I'm
at
like,
all.
I've never seen a hockey goalie mask that weird and large.
Yeah, it was just a bizarre. I don't understand almost any of the decisions
For
made with
Casey Jones, I'm like, I am glad that he didn't feel like Oliver Queen.
right.
That's
but
not. That, I
that
wanted more
doesn't
than
make
yeah.
it
No,
a
no,
win,
absolutely
you
no.
know?
That's not a win. I'm glad, but it's definitely not what he should have been. Like
Yeah.
in the first Turtles movie, I don't want to have to bring it back to that. I'm going to, because that's what Turtles movies should be. They should try and do that and better.
Yeah.
We didn't even know what Casey's occupation was.
No, he didn't
No.
have an occupation. He was just a vagrant,
He just did shit. Yeah.
like, vigilante. Yeah.
Like, we didn't even know. Yeah, it didn't matter. He was Casey
No,
Jones.
he hung out in his
Yeah,
sweatpants
he was
apparently
Casey
forever.
Jones.
So, yeah, man. He was already Casey Jones. This one, they're like, oh, let's do Casey Jones' origin story or
He's
something.
a police officer.
I
No,
don't.
It wasn't necessary.
Why?
It
Why?
wasn't necessary.
And he's like all like happy-go-lucky
Yeah.
and shit, which again, as just a character in these Ninja Turtle movies, fine, whatever. But why does that have to be Casey Jones?
What's wrong with the original Casey Jones? And maybe I know someone's gonna say they wanted to try something different. It's like, sure, this is really, really different though.
Yeah, and just unnecessarily
Yeah.
different.
Like the comic book Casey, awesome.
He had no edge
That's
to
the
him.
thing,
And
yeah.
Casey Jones should have edge
He
to
should
him.
be all
But
edge.
he did seem, personality-wise, a lot more like the current cartoon Ninja
Right,
Turtles.
right. That's why I was like, okay,
Which I get that part, but why bother with the
No,
police
yeah.
thing? Just have him be like a hockey hooligan or
exactly. I was like, just make him be the hawk. Like, I think they did the whole police thing because they needed to tie it with Bebop and Rocksteady.
something. But they didn't
They didn't
have
have
to.
to. I know they didn't.
They
I know they
didn't have
didn't.
to.
I know. Like, he could have just been like, because in the end it's like, oh, do you want to watch my hockey match? And I'm like, why aren't you just an amateur hockey player?
Yeah, why not?
That's a thing. That's a thing. Do
Yeah.
you have to be a hockey player that's also a police that wants to be a detective?
Yeah, that's and I'm gonna be
Yeah.
a detective someday, random lady.
Right. Yes,
Just wanted to
right
tell you
you
that.
are. She was also a bitch unnecessarily.
It did seem
Like,
that
there's
way,
a lot of
yeah.
them. Like, you don't have to be this way, lady. Like, it seems like
No
it seems
reason.
like you're having a really bad life. Not even like a bad week, bad day. You just don't like whatever's going on, and you're just taking it out on whoever.
Yeah. Poor Oliver.
He can't catch a break. But he was fine.
But
He
yeah, I
didn't ruin
thought
it.
he
He didn't
was
ruin it. He didn't
fine.
ruin it.
It
Yeah.
just, yeah, it just wasn't what
No,
I
no, no.
want out of a
Absolutely
Casey
not.
Jones
No, not at all.
character.
Not at all.
But I also have similar qualms with the current cartoon Casey
Yeah.
Jones. He's not what I
No,
would want him to
exactly.
be. So
Yeah.
it is
Because,
what it
like,
is.
the current comic Casey is different from the original movie Casey. But I like both of those Caseys.
Yeah, the current comic one is good.
Yeah.
It's like a younger
Of
version
the
the
first movie,
first
yeah.
movie
But
Turtles.
with more story. So it's,
Right.
if anything, it might be even better. Because
Mhm.
he's got character, his father, the whole family thing, the relationship between
Yeah.
him and April's parents and stuff. Love it. It's great.
Mhm.
And understandably so, they can delve more into that because it's a comic book. They can focus on those things. It's not like the first film where it's like he's just there. But even with that,
Right.
even with him just being there, he was great. We got his personality when they were in the farm. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. The farm scene
Yeah,
is still one of the
and
best.
I know people like, they'll probably say you just like the original Turtles film because of nostalgia. I'm like, none of the new films, none of the even sequels of the original one had anything like the farm scene.
I literally objectively think that it is a better
Yeah.
movie than any of the other versions that have happened.
2 was fun, but I would say this is fun too. Like, this new one is fun, but
Yeah,
2 had more fighting.
definitely.
But it still doesn't hold the candle to the first one. The first one had its
No.
humor, had its drama, a lot of drama, a fuck ton of drama. Not just with the turtles themselves, but with everybody else. We got more of the Foot Clan. Mind you, they weren't... Actually, no, we did. We got heaps more of the Foot Clan. We saw them train as ninjas. We saw that they were, street, like kids in the street. That's where they start from. So, I don't know. They did more of that than they have done in most films these days.
Yeah, I agree
We don't
with
get
that.
quite farm... Like, that farm scene, very, very somber.
Yeah, and it was character
It was all
building
character
with these puppets,
I know,
essentially,
like,
and
come on, man.
they took it
I felt
seriously,
more
man.
for when fucking Raph was in the bathtub.
Right.
You felt for the
Yeah.
whole family at that point. Every single one of them.
It's true.
How come they can't even do that? Is it too much of a risk?
Who knows why they don't do it? It's frustrating
It
for me,
seems
though.
bizarre because I'm like, and okay, sure, that first film was definitely dark. It was definitely like, in terms of lighting and contrast and stuff, there's a lot of drama in it. But I get why. But when you saw the turtles, they were still there.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like the first TMNT, the most recent one, where it was just dark for the sake of not showing them and shit. I don't know.
Luckily, luckily, this movie I think is
I like
good
it. I
and
like it.
fine,
It's fun. I do like this one.
but nothing has
No,
touched
no.
that first one
And
for me. It's still
It
the
is.
bar.
It's still the bar, and it sucks that we have to compare it to that. But what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what remakes have you seen that have taken over
that
that are better than the original ones? Oh well, the Batman ones, I guess, but that's also subjective.
Right. I'm sure some people would say the Bond movies.
Oh sure, there we go. Yeah.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah, probably.
There are cases, but just almost.
It's very
never
hard.
from the genres I'd like them to come from.
right.
But Spider-Man, people
Oh
like.
yeah, there we go. The Raimi Spider-Man compared to the Garfield Spider-Man is obviously.
Some people like the Garfield one. I like the Garfield
I
one
do
better
too.
than the Raimi one. The Spider-Man
Yeah.
himself. The movies really, even Spider-Man 2 is
Yeah.
dope, but those movies are hard to go back to
They
for
are,
me because
they are.
I forget how
They are
campy they
very
are
campy.
until I go back
Also,
into it.
I don't know. We watch all these movie shows, right? Movie talk
Mhm.
shows and stuff on YouTube. Because X-Men's a thing that's currently out right now. They talk about X-Men a lot, and they talk about how
Mhm.
great, how amazing the original trilogy were. I rewatched the original ones. They're not
Mhm.
good.
Uh,
X-Men isn't
yeah.
good. X2, that intro is still freaking dope, but that film
Mhm.
is actually not very good. It's kind of
Yeah.
like they're forgettable. Those films are forgettable. X3, honestly, as bad as everyone hates it, it has a lot of fan service, but there's too much garbage in
Mhm.
it.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
garbage.
garbage.
But I gotta give credit because they try and do a lot of fan service in that film. They do a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of it.
first we get the full
Yeah,
Iceman. That's the
first
first time we
time.
see it.
And I'm like, good on ya. We got Angel there. Uh,
Yeah.
we got a lot of like mutants. We got a shit ton of mutants.
Mhm.
The effects weren't great though. The story was all over. It wasn't, you know. Uh,
It wasn't
no, it wasn't.
perfect
No,
or
no,
anything.
no, no.
It had
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of
It did.
faults.
And whatever. But like everyone says, no, because Bryan Singer didn't. I'm like, whatever. Bryan Singer is not perfect. His X-Men films are not perfect.
I really think that we need
We
a
need
break
a break. Yeah,
from
we do.
Bryan
We really
Singer.
do. Give us a new. Like honestly, again, if they say tomorrow, Fox goes, yeah, the new mutant X-Men universe is now going to be helmed by Tim Miller. It's that direction, that
Mhm.
world that we saw in Deadpool. That's the direction we're taking the X-Men films now. I'd be like, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
I definitely would
I'm
prefer
open to
that.
that because what he presented
Yeah.
there, I was actually excited for mutants. That's Colossus. We
Yeah.
actually saw Colossus. We saw a comic book
Mhm.
Colossus, even though he's appeared twice before then. This is the first
Yeah.
time we actually saw him proper. I know some people are like, oh,
Sad
but he
truth.
didn't turn back into human. When is in the comics? How often do you look at Colossus and think of his human form? You don't.
Not very often.
It
no.
exists, for sure it exists. But when you think of Colossus, you don't think of that form.
It's true.
And
And I think that, for what that movie was, you didn't really
no.
need to see
Oh yeah.
the
No,
human
not at all,
version.
not at all. It's a shame you haven't seen X-Men yet, because we'll talk about that when you do.
Yeah, we were gonna watch it a little while ago, but Kanoe was
All
tired,
good.
so we'll watch
Mate,
it
there's
tomorrow.
no rush. After you watch it, we could talk about that. We'll, release a double or some shit because we skipped like 2 weeks of this. Oh, a week.
Yeah,
But yeah, have we finished talking about Turtles? Okay.
Yes.
I liked it. I'm gonna buy this.
I don't know
I'm
if I
probably
will
gonna
buy
buy
it.
it.
Or not.
I think I'm still in a little bit of a high because I just watched it. If I see
Right.
more on, obviously, like clearly, we talked a lot negatives on the spoiler talk.
Right.
But I still did enjoy it because the Turtles were great. I do wish
I
more.
I did enjoy the Turtles
Yeah,
quite a
I
bit.
do wish that they did actually fight, because they'll never be ninjas anymore. They're no longer ninjas. You can remove ninjas from the title.
Yeah, that's an
They're
unfortunate.
teenage
truth.
mutant hero turtles, like the British title.
Yeah, that part
Yeah.
frustrates me.
I want
quite
the
a bit,
ninjas because
actually.
again, that Leo training scene, that was literally all the ninja work that we saw any of the turtles do in this film. Because he
Yeah.
was legit with that shit.
Didn't even have as much as the first
Right,
movie
which
did,
is weird.
as far as the hand-to-hand
Right,
combat.
which was weird. So
Yeah.
that sucks. Those things suck. But I came out having a good time still.
And the Krang stuff, I could kind of take it or leave it. The Technodrome thing was
That
cool,
was cool
to see.
I just never believed that we could see that in a live action film.
but we kind of didn't. Like, they didn't do anything with
well,
the
because they
Technotrope.
stopped it.
Right, but because they stopped it, we didn't really get any of the Technotrope. We got to see the shell.
We didn't really feel the threat of the Technodrone.
Right, we don't even know what it could do. Or
like, it didn't fire at anything. I'm kind of glad we
we
didn't, because honestly, that would have been like, oh, cool, we got another film where they're just destroying buildings.
Right, true. But I just, and then for him to be like at the end, well, I'll be back and I'll be even stronger.
And I'm like, good luck. Have fun with Shredder.
Just like for
Have
what?
fun with a frozen Shredder. I thought they would have set up.
I
don't know.
I thought they were gonna set something up, and they didn't even do like a post-credit thing, so there wasn't even anything to be like, well, at least we can get hyped about this for next time.
Because now I'm like, where are you gonna because the first film, the fact that when Shredder landed on the ground and he had that last little bit of ooze, I was like, oh, nice setup already.
Right, and nothing.
Here it's like, oh, Baxter Stockman's being taken to Japan, but you forget about it because they did nothing about it.
Right, and it ultimately meant
they could have shown,
nothing.
like, even a close-up of, say, he had a little capsule of the purple ooze on him or some shit. Just something. Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am glad the turtles didn't turn human, though.
Yeah. I really thought they were gonna.
I'm glad. I was like, ooh, that was a relief. Like, the temporary drop.
Yeah, in that last scene, I really thought they were gonna, and they were just gonna, like, have it be the actual actors.
Oh, do you know what's been funny, though? If they did try it, but it didn't turn him human, it just made him smaller. It mutated him to the turtles we know.
Right, we talked about that, but
they'll never do that.
They definitely showed them get 4 fingers, so I was like, maybe they will show it. Maybe they will look like the actors, but still just be green.
Weird.
Who knows what they were going to do.
And then they'd look in their pants and go, my man.
My man.
All right, so
turtle penises.
No, yeah, in that case, turtle penises. So yeah, that's our turtle talk. You can watch it. I'd say watch it. It's fun.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's definitely you'll watch it once and never see it again type of movie. But
like if you got kids, they'll.
Yeah, but I still think it's worth checking out.
Absolutely,
it's a fun action movie.
Like you can.
I found it more enjoyable than a Transformers movie.
Trust me. Yeah, having rewatched the Transformers recently again, I don't know why, because it's tough to have on while I'm working. The last one in particular was like, what the fuck? Like Age of Extinction is hard. I'm fast forwarding through a lot of them, so I'm like, this is difficult. This is hard. Like the first Transformers film is still the best one, and even that one has a lot of problems. There's a lot of yelling. Like, Shia LaBeouf is yelling a lot. No, Optimus! He's always yelling. Like, he must have lost his voice a lot.
Michael Bay lives
he does. Also, it's high saturation in those films. I'm glad they toned it down here. In Turtles.
Yeah.
We got some natural colors in this film. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel. I don't know if I was impressed or anything specifically by David Green.
What was his last film? Right. Put it this way, he didn't do anything bad. I think
he didn't do anything that took me out of it.
That's a very that is scenario. Because in that sense, I'm like, you're working with the source, so whatever you're given, you do your best. You do the best you can. So I'm thinking because I did enjoy Earth to Echo. Maybe he just had better material.
Yeah, he didn't do anything that upset me or anything, so I feel like
to me that's a positive.
That's positive as far as
I think the next film that I'm looking forward to now is Power Rangers because of what he did with Project
Almanac,
because I like Project Almanac, and I want to like Power Rangers too.
I cannot wait to see a trailer for that.
I can't wait to see it and us talk about it.
Yeah,
that's gonna be something.
When does that one come out?
The movie? That's a 2017 release, right? Or is it this year? Nah, it can't be this year.
No, I think it's like February next year or something like that.
Son of a bitch! I'll have to watch it here.
I'm still curious,
that one I can't wait to talk about when we see it. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully a trailer by
That would be
Comic-Con
cool.
or
Actually, that would
something.
make sense, though. Like a teaser.
Yeah, especially if there's like Lionsgate is supposed to be
Right. It's
there or
because, like,
whatever. Is it Lionsgate?
I don't know.
I can't remember. But yeah, whoever is doing it, if they're gonna be there, it would make sense.
So that's a Turtles talk. Turtles out of the shadows, and they were definitely out of the shadows.
Luckily,
Yeah. I mean, like, it's almost not just the Turtles themselves, but the film was out of the shadows.
all right.
Like, here's
Right.
color. Here's some. We got some shadows here, but you can see them still, not just like weird. I don't know. The first films.
Yeah, the turtles
Yeah.
in general seemed
Yeah.
brighter, so it was easier to see them.
Yeah.
at all
I
times.
like the
feel like
Turtles,
even
yeah.
in
I like the
shadow
Turtles. I
scenes.
think it was fun. I had a good time. I mean,
Yeah.
if clearly, like, the more we thought about it, the more we talked about it, we found a lot more things that we wished more for it.
Yeah, just everything that bothered me about it was easily kind of squelched
Yeah.
by me being like, it's just the
Yeah.
cartoon, but with this live action filter. And it helped me kind of enjoy it in a different way, I
Actually,
think. Because I just didn't know what to
Right.
expect. So,
to be honest, it's almost like not even the current cartoon. It's more like the old cartoon.
definitely,
thinking
there's
back-
definitely a lot, and there's a lot of
Oh, yeah, yeah.
references to it as
But
well.
also thinking back at the old cartoon, they didn't really fight like ninjas either. Not in a lot of it.
I mean, to some
yeah,
degree,
yeah.
whatever you
I
could
suppose
animate.
that's what I'm saying because of their budgets and all that. So it's very much like a translation of that. But,
yeah. I mean,
again,
I
had a
think
good time.
eventually they'll probably even make the foot soldiers robots.
Yeah, just so that they can actually have more fighting. Maybe.
Right.
Dude, actually, that makes more sense. If they turn them into robots, that might be better. That way, you can actually, the turtles can actually fight and then slice them up and shit without, because like,
Right. But we got to get through this weekend to find out if there's even going to be a third Turtles movie.
I think it'll do well.
I don't know, man. I'm not
You're not
expecting
expecting it to be
do
number one in
very
the box
well.
office this weekend?
But it being
Doesn't mean
number
that's
one
right,
doesn't
that's
mean
right.
it did
What was
well.
the budget for this film? Do you know?
No idea. Probably like 120, between 120 and 90, I would
that
imagine.
sounds like the average these days for these types of films, doesn't it?
Basically. But I
Yeah.
am curious. Either way, though, I don't think it's going to do super
it's not.
great.
It's
over
not
the
going to
weekend.
do. You think it'll do better than the first one?
I don't
That
think
seems
so.
weird to me. It seems like films these days aren't even matching up to the previous ones anymore.
I think it depends on what you are showing
Right, I
people.
guess.
And I think if you show people the movie's going to be silly, that will make people hesitant. But I think kids will. It really depends on how kids attach to it. If kids attach to it and really like it, then it could be a surprise thing. But I can't anticipate that's going to happen. I really don't think it will.
Yeah. I say if the kids watch this, they will enjoy it.
I think so too. But will they enjoy it enough to be like, I want to see it
I
again?
don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
The budget was
Ooh,
135
that's a
million.
lot.
That's only 10 million more than what I thought
It's
it
a
was.
lot compared to, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I was gonna say it's a lot compared to, say, Deadpool, but Deadpool was an anomaly.
Right, and Deadpool had far
Right.
less CGI
Oh yeah, they didn't have
characters
like
in
a
it,
technodrome.
and the set
Oh.
pieces were incredibly
That
small.
had a lot more fucking fighting in that one though.
Yeah, a lot more actual combat.
I want even give us that level of combat.
Give us that level of Ninja Turtles movie. Just make the rated R version of the first movie. Make what the first comic was, where Shredder gets blown up with a grenade on the rooftop at the end instead.
But just make him a robot.
Make that. Yeah, man, it would be legit if they
never
made
would.
if they made it even as dark as the first one was and all the texturing and stuff. But make them smaller. Make them.
Oh, dude, could you
ninjas.
imagine if they translated the Peter Laird Kevin Eastman comic directly.
I would love it. I would love it.
Like, make it low budget even. You could do it on a low budget.
Well, I don't know how low budget you can make
like,
it.
Like
but,
Deadpool budget.
And I would say just make suits, CGI heads.
CGI faces. Oh, my phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta leave
I'll
that
leave
in.
it in. I'll call them back.
That fucking
I'll call them back.
ringtone.
Let's end
Anyway, that's pretty much all we're gonna talk about.
Turtles
anyway,
review.
so,
Watch it.
yeah,
Go check it out.
if you wanted to see it.
If you like if you like the Turtles in the first one, I'd recommend you watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you're not doing anything this week, like, how often do people watch films these days in terms of, like...
If you're not watching Popstar,
I want to watch it. I don't think it's out here yet.
It came out same day as Turtles
not
here.
I have to look out for it now. I'm probably, like, limited screening here.
We're going to try and see it tomorrow, I think. But yeah, watch this movie if you want to see some crazy set pieces.
If you want to see Bebop and Rocksteady.
Seamus was
solid. He was actually surprising.
Yeah, I thought they were fine. Both of them were fine. They didn't piss me off, and that's the best case scenario.
It's almost like, so long as you don't annoy me, that's a thumbs up for me.
Yep, that's how I feel about it.
You annoy me, like Vern in the first film, fucking auto thumbs down.
So yeah,
check it out.
Until next time, guys.
Stay chipper.
What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat. What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat. What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat. What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat.